Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Beaut Tea Told. It's your girl Britt, and listen, this ain't just a regular guest. This ain't just a friend. This is more like a sister. Aww. This is my girl Lex. Me and her go, years back. Yes. We met on the job of ain't gonna be mentioned because they ain't paying me no money.
They're not paying me either. No, I'm just kidding. They do.
Right. You gotta get your bag, girl. But we connected on a co-worker level, and it just continued to elevate from there. And like I said, now it's more of a sisterhood. So my girl Alexis is in the building. Welcome,
hey,
boo.
Beauty Told.
Yes,
I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so proud as a friend. I don't want this to be the part where anybody cries. But I am so proud as a friend to watch you from the beginning of your journey when you first posted about setting up Beauty Told and you had your little workout clothes on and you set your little stuff up. And I was so happy for you and I said a prayer for you. And I'm so grateful that you were able to make the connections needed and pitch yourself as the amazing person that the people in your life know you to be.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad that the world gets to see that. The people that you're blessed to be able to touch get to see that. So truly, she's one of the most genuine people that I know. And I'm so grateful that you're letting the world get a piece of that.
Oh my gosh. So, thank you.
That's just my little tidbit.
Listen, I love you, Frank. My little sorry, the mic's little.
No, it's okay.
It's gonna be good, but thank you. I appreciate that because again, this hasn't been easy. Mm-hmm. It's been a journey nonetheless, and I thank you for rocking with me since day one of the journey. And again, my wheels are already turning of when can I get her on because there's no way I'm going to continue this journey.
Honored, truly honored.
I'm glad. Yes. So God worked it out. You are here.
Yes.
And we have another hot, juicy topic for you guys. And this is going to be one that I think sometimes tends to get skipped because a lot of times when you're going through dating, when you're going through relationships, when it unfortunately has to come to a close, yes, relationship and then close, but what about that gray area in between? So me and my girl Lex are here so that way we can talk about that healing takes time. So I hope y'all ready. And of course, y'all, near and dear is my faith journal. And we're ready to get this started. So Lex, when we think about a person that, we saw forever with at some point in time, like, butterflies, you're going to bed dreaming about it. You're going to bed falling asleep talking to them.
And I think it's important to address the innocence where that lies.
Oh, yeah.
I think that growing up, you always are like, I can't wait for my forever. Mm-hmm. And I think when you find someone that you truly love and you truly connect with, you don't know what that pain of heartbreak is like yet. You just kind of walking around thinking that the sky is blue and the flowers bloom. And, I think that that's important to understand that people lose that fairy tale.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
For some people, when they lose that fairy tale, they kind of lose the sense of how the relationship should be, how it should flow, how that yin and that yang go, because I'm just, who's here?
Yeah.
Who's here?
It's definitely a reality check for sure, because like you said, it's not a bed full of roses. It's not, it's not going to be the fairy tale that you see on the Disney movies,
Right.
And it sucks because initially that's where it begins, for us women. And I was talking to Brandon from the Pull-Up Experience about this because we have our great little chats too. For women, we just start all the way up here with it. Like we're just on cloud 1000. Mm-hmm. And the guy kind of has to like inch his way up. So at some point or another, if the relationship is meant to be, y'all,
right,
you guys will hit that equilibrium.
Correct.
So, correct. But again, us women, we emotional, so that's why we start up here. Okay, we like that's my man. That's my man. My man.
Men and women will never be emotionally on the same playing ground.
I know.
And I think that was one of the hardest things going through love and going through heartbreak is that a man can't think like a woman and a woman can't think like a man.
That's it.
So I think there's so many times where we're just like where are we disconnecting? Like why can't we seem to get it together?
Yeah.
And I think it's just about giving the other party grace and empathy to try to understand where the other person is coming from. Because I know many times you're just like, you should just get it. Like, you should just understand like what I'm saying. And it's like, I don't, because I don't think like you.
That's right.
I don't have the same, men and women don't have the same standards. We want to have the same morals and same values, and we want to be able to come together. But I think it's important to address that a man is held at a different level. A woman is held, what you expect from a man and what you expect from a woman are two totally different things.
True.
And I think that has a lot to do with that way of thinking and that mindset, and being in a relationship with someone who boys live on Mars and girls are from, however the statement goes, like girls are from Venus and boys are from Mars.
That's true.
Like, that really is how it is in the thought process and the thinking process. So I think grace and empathy for each party and having that communication will help you grow together.
That's true.
Because we are two totally different people when we meet each other. We are two totally different entities. And sometimes those entities just explode.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, now what? Now what do we do? Now, I'm sure every woman has a story on if someone was to say, like, when did you realize that, that fairy tale is gone? When was that moment when you realized that this is not how I envisioned it to be?
Correct.
But how do I pick up these pieces and put my puzzle back together?
Oh my gosh. And I think that's where it becomes so conflicting, because, like you said, once the dust settles and you realize that you guys have your differences, because, you start off great, oh my gosh, you like that too, me too. And, there's so many similarities in the beginning that you don't realize that we're different people. We do have differences. And when we realize those differences and how, like you said, they clash, they explode, and it's how do we figure that out? And for some relationships, it may never get found out because that's just not the person that you're supposed to be with. And I think that sometimes, like you said, it just becomes a harsh reality to accept. And it makes it hard to move on because you want to put the pieces back together and go back to back then when we first met, when things were cool, like
things was
super
great.
dope. Like that's my ride or die. You know what I mean? So it's definitely hard, and then it doesn't make it any better when you start mixing in family and friends into the mix, and they have their 2 cents to put into it. And at the time, you don't want to hear that.
No.
And it could be the God honest truth. But at that moment of what you're going through, you are not receiving it because you don't want to hear that. You are still back there where you want to be.
It's important that I think you ask a person, what type of friend do you need me to be? I think someone said that to me, and it was kind of like, that was like really super, super powerful. Like, my really good friend, like, what type of friend do you need me to be? Do you need me to be the friend to kind of snap you out of, the cloud, the haze, or do you just need somebody to sit here with you and like hold your hand? And I think in friendships and family, I think that's so important, because there are times when I just need somebody to sit there and hold my hand through the tears, through the haze. And there's times when I need somebody to be like, girl, get it together now. We not about to fall apart over this. Like, and it's balance. So I think that's when you talk about the art of letting go, or being able to let go. It's not lateral. It's not horizontal. Like, it's crooked. It's jaded. It's jagged. It's curvy.
Yes.
I get on your podcast, get the preaching.
Hey, I knew you had it all bottled up in you.
But I think that's super, 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 super important. And, I think as people, the biggest word that I could just always say is just give people grace and give people empathy, because I may feel like, girl, you're better than that. And like, you need to just get your stuff, walk away, do better. But then when you go through it, I think that's also important. Like, I think even in my situation, like, out of my friend groups, you were the person who understood me. You understood, like, no, I know what it's like to go through something. And I know what it's like to, like, just not be okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like, okay, I'm normal. Like I don't have to pretend like I'm okay when I really just want to fall apart.
Yes.
Like, and people, it has nothing to do with my friendships. It has nothing to do with my family relationships. I just am a person, am trying to get it together.
Yeah.
And I think when you want those people in your life to see the best version of you, always, you don't want to be, sad or upset or going through the motions. But it's like sometimes those are the people who understand as well.
Yes.
And not everyone understands how to show up for people. And I think that that's so important, that I have to meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
And maybe where you're at may be a little bit uncomfortable for me.
Right.
It may not be what I'm necessarily used to. It may not be how I go about things. But this is a person I love. This is my friend. How do you need me to show up for you?
Wow.
And leave it there.
That's good, Lex. And I told y'all my girl, she was coming with that heat. She was ready. And listen, you're not lying. When I went through what I went through with my then husband, it was tough because not everybody could understand the journey. Like you said, some people can't relate. And for the ones that do, it is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's easy for people to be like, girl, get up, girl, move on, girl, you'll be fine. Da, da, da. It's easy because, like you said, you're not in that situation. It's totally different when the tables turn.
Right.
It's a different ball game for sure. And like you said, I like that, and I guess I didn't even realize that I was doing that. But you don't want to be that friend that's just always like, girl, snap out of it.
Right.
Sometimes they just need someone to just be compassionate, just empathize with you, just let you be in the moment, even if it means that you gotta cry and fall apart on the floor, because eventually you gonna
because it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to see the people you love struggling emotionally. Yeah. I think emotional struggle is the hardest to see, because it's like you do, and it's out of love. And so I just want to make that clear. Like it's out of love. I tell you to get up and move on out of love. Like it's not out of anything malicious. It's just everyone has different ways of processing things. Everyone has different styles and speeds and how they get there, but we all gonna get to that finish line. And I'm gonna hold your hand through it, even if I gotta tie our legs together and we gotta get through it together. Yeah. And so I think that for some people, support is huge. It is. It's huge to be able to know that, like, in my sadness, in my darkest hours, I have someone that I can go to, someone that I can call on, someone that's not going to judge me, someone that's not going to tell my business, somebody that's not going to, change how they think about me just because I wouldn't necessarily do what they do. And I think that's the village. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think that is the sisterhood. Yes. That is the family. That is the unity. Yeah. Is being safe and being secure through support. Absolutely. The essence of life. The essence of life. It might be the title of your episode, so stop playing. No, that's good though, and you're right, and it's only a very few people that can do that for you. Correct. You learn that because of these certain situations where everyone's journey, like you put it, and I think you put it so eloquently, by the way, is that it's not going to be a straight line when you're going from heartache to healed. It has its variances. It's for some it's wavy, for some it's going to be a little spiky, for some it's going to be a little curvy, up and down roller coaster ride. But like you said, eventually you're going to get there. Right. And it's just who going to be there in them gray times, those gray areas while you're figuring it out. Right. Because you don't always want to tell your girls when you're confused. You don't. And you don't. Like, girl, I missed that no good. Yes. But sometimes you need that. And you need the girlfriend to be like, girl, I understand. Sometimes you be like, girl, put the phone down. Yes, for real. You need both. And I think that just all goes back to saying, like, okay, what type of friend do you need me to be? Yeah. What type of friend needs to show up for you? Does it need to be, the supportive friend? And you're always being supportive, so I don't want to say it like that, but do you need me to be the agreeing friend? Do you need me to be the sugarcoating friend? Do you need me to kind of just be like, girl, yeah, you know? Or do you need me to be like, listen,
yeah,
it's getting a little dicey.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
let's, you know, let's pull it back together. But, you know, ultimately, I think that one thing in life I have always been grateful for are the people in my life.
Yeah.
And the friends and the family that I do have.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, hanging out with my friends and hanging out with my family and laughing and having a good time and venting and, you know, just like us chit chatting like before that, it was just nice to just kind of like, okay, girl, let me catch you up.
Yeah.
You know, before we get into the deep stuff. But in a way, it kind of saves you.
Yes, absolutely.
It grounds you. It brings you back to, you know, whatever. Like some of my girlfriends, they're always like, you know, spending time with my friends make me happy. Like my girlfriend said that's where I find my happiness. And that's true.
It is.
Like that is true. I think because you're safe and you're secure and you know, the way I feel with you, like that's why it's so easy to. That's why I knew this would be good for you.
Yeah,
I knew talking to people would be good for you because you care.
Yeah,
you genuinely care. So.
I do. Well, thank you, Boo. Of course, of course. And you know what, you kind of alluded to where I was going with this too, because although everybody's healing process is different, there are some key factors that really do help through the process to get you where you need to be. And one of them is spending quality time, getting your mind off of the heartache and the pain. So a lot of times it is spending quality time with those whom you love, that you know that are still there, your friends, your family, and you can just have a good time, because in that good time it takes the focus away from the reality of what's still going on, you know, heart you know, wise. Because heartache and pain it's real bad. Like that is like, I really want to say, especially I think I can say this because I am a mother. It is the most painful pain I've went through was heartbreak. It was more painful than birthing my children, because it can take you spiraling out of control if you don't grasp a hold of it. You know, I've told you guys in previous episodes where I've been, you know, depressed. I've been to the point of wanting to unalive myself. You know, I got fancy up the words on YouTube. Want to unalive myself. I've been there. I've lost the unhealthy weight, and people thinking that, oh girl, you look good. Right. Little you know, I'm not eating well. I'm not drinking. I'm not doing what I should be doing, the necessities of life. So again, to I think you do have to eventually hit rock bottom, and then you can start climbing your way up. And as you're climbing your way up, family and friends, spending quality time with them. I would say the number one source that got me through to my healing was God, was my prayer life. And it could be with sisters, or sometimes they do have to take you being by yourself, you know, and praying to God.
Those prayers, those ones that I think those have probably been the deepest prayers I've ever prayed, are the ones on my knees in my house, apartment, wherever, by myself, talking to God. I don't know what to do. Like show me something. Show me anything that aligns with how you feel like it should go. Because how I'm doing it and how I'm going about it doesn't align with what you think. So it's not gonna work.
It ain't working.
And I think that, you know, in those moments when you are done, it's almost like before you get to that moment where you like, I'm gonna drop to my knees and I gotta pray. It's so cloudy.
It is.
It's so hazy. It's like I can't even open my eyes and think. And something happens in that moment, and you get up and you're like, okay, I'm good. I can do it.
Such a friend.
I can do it. And it literally is like a feeling of, you know, going to God and just needing him to wrap his arms around you and comforting you in that moment. Like no other feeling is going to work. Nothing else is going to bring me out of this. And like you said, I think going through heartache and going through those things, you grow closer to what is meant for you. What is the journey that's meant for you. You grow closer to that. You grow in that. And I think that the more steps I take, as I unalign myself with the things that don't serve me.
Yeah.
And I continue to grow closer to God.
Yeah.
And have a stronger relationship. I am blessed.
Yes.
Things you didn't even think were possible. Things you didn't even think were attainable. It's like, where did that opportunity come from? Where did that blessing come from? Like, okay, all right, okay, all right. And it's really about sinking in and really digging in and really tapping in with yourself and understanding your purpose. And I think for me, I didn't understand my purpose for so long. So when you don't understand your purpose, it's like, okay, I'm cool with just here. Basic, like mediocrity is what it is.
That's good.
I'm good just here. It's comfortable.
Yep.
It's what I know.
That's right.
When you take that step out on faith and you jump off the porch, so to speak, you begin to understand that the world really is like nothing is too big.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point that I'm learning in this going from 30 to 31 in this chapter is nothing is out of my reach. Ooh, there's nothing that I can't attain if I try. Okay. Now, if I just continue to sit there and wallow away or whatever, I can't be surprised when I look up and 10 years have gone by. And all the good things, they're still reachable, but they're further away. Yeah. And I'm not getting any younger.
Oh, girl. However you look young, girl.
Thanks,
nobody
girl,
would guess your age.
But it's just like I'm not getting those years back.
Correct.
I have to come into this new season of womanhood.
Yes.
And what does that look like? Womanhood is letting go.
Come on.
Let's tie it all back together. Preacher. Womanhood is letting go of all of that.
Yeah.
It's letting go of the innocence, so to speak. That's because true. There's a certain point in every girl's life where you walk around thinking, you know, nothing can happen to me. This won't happen to me. This won't happen to me. This won't happen to me. And let me just say here, it's nothing that can't happen to you.
Come on.
And I think you look at situations and you look at things saying like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. Till you in it.
That's it.
Till you in it. Because who would have thought that a year would go by where you ping pong in your heart with somebody? Who would have thought that?
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought that, like, I love you, I hate you, 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 I love you, I hate you. You're like, dang, that was all of 2023. That was, that was whatever. So,
yeah,
I think when we talk about those things, it's important to talk about that.
That's good. Yeah. That's really good. And like you basically, like what you were saying is that prayer does change things. It will give you a strength that you didn't know that you possess. Heck, it can be your strength when you were weak, Like you said, I've spent my nights on the floor crying, and me and God, we got to the point where I'm like, God, yo, I'm not girl. It's me again. And I ain't doing too good. I need you. If you don't show up right now, absolutely, I don't know where my next moments may lead to. Like those desperate
moments.
ones.
Yeah. And I think when you look back at those dark times and you look back at those moments, it was only one source. It was one source. And it's like, okay, I'm at my wit's end. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? Just, and you always come back to that.
Yes.
It's almost like you come back to the what has been instilled in you, what you have grown to know, what you have grown to accept, what you have grown to love. Like me and God have a relationship that far supersedes me growing up as a PK.
Okay.
And I think that's important.
Yeah.
Like my relationship with God honestly happened in the last 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
I think in my early years, like my dad was a pastor. I think that, I'm here just because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Right. Right.
And then it was a point where you get to kind of being like, okay, maybe I don't want to spend every Sunday from 9 to 3.
Yeah. No. It gets old.
Yeah. But I think when you have your own relationship, there's something for you in it.
Yeah.
You know, at 8, 9, 10 years old, sitting in that pew for 6 hours, hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Hungry.
You couldn't receive it.
You couldn't.
I think anytime I walk into a house of worship, I receive what God wants me to receive.
Absolutely.
And I don't think he would ever put me places that I'm not supposed to be. I think that's the spirit of discernment.
Yeah.
I think there are times where, I don't know if you've ever had it, but it's like, oh, I want to go here. And it's everything happens that it's like, why? Okay, I can't make it.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep.
And it's like, maybe that wasn't for me. Oh, God be blocking.
Oh, baby. But we got to appreciate the block.
That's a whole episode.
It is.
God be blocking.
I'm going to make sure I snip it and, y'all see it.
Yeah. But I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very, very important. Because we be having our blinders on.
We really do, though.
We do.
And, it's funny that you brought up the whole... sometimes when you look back over what God has brought you through, because as I've told you guys in my episode, I journaled throughout the ending of my marriage. And I've occasionally even looked back at those journals, because I journal every single day, whether it was good, bad, or ugly. And some nights were really ugly. And I didn't understand it then, why God put me on that assignment to journal every day. Because first of all, I don't like to write. But... But second of all, I was like, some days were painful to have to write that down, And now I knew it was part of, it's therapeutic for me. I didn't realize it then, but I realized it now. It was a way of me being able to release.
Yeah.
It was a way of me being able to see how far I've come. Because when I look at the young lady I was in the beginning process versus when I got more stronger, I could see the strength. I could see like almost like a weight trainer. I could see the results of what God was putting me through. And I still have them journals to this day. And I'm still trying to figure out what he wants me to do next with them. But a lot of times, sometimes even reading through those are painful and I have to close it. Because I don't want to
rip that Band-Aid off.
I went through some things that are unimaginable. And again, that was when people were telling me, just let him go, just let him go. When you really love somebody, though, if you really love them, it's not that easy to just cut it off.
Correct.
And I think that's where people tend to forget too. Is that it's not, if it's that easy, then you didn't love that person at all. And if you love me, respect the fact that it's going to take a while for me to get there, because even Jesus had to suffer. It took me a long time to realize that when the devil was tempting him, I was like, wow, even Jesus got tempted. Even Jesus had to suffer. Lord, take this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. So it just came. There was so many different phases. There's so many different changes you're going to realize in your healing, where when you do finally get a chance to look back, you'll be able to see the growth and progression that had to take place.
Yes.
So that way you can be at a mature place in your life where you're not trying to go backwards to that person either.
Correct.
So,
because the door will always be open until you close it.
Baby, listen.
I don't care what you say.
Oh,
I don't care. And I think that, in that healing process, it's easy to just be like, okay, one day I'm going to wake up and I'm not going to love him no more. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be Gucci. I'm going to go out, better than I was before. And I think I spent birthdays, I spent trips out the country in shambles, in pure shambles. And I don't think anyone could have ever told you that. Maybe that one birthday party, but I don't think that anyone ever knew just how bad it hurt.
Yeah.
Because not only was I trying to move on, I was trying to pretend like I was okay. And those are two different things.
It is. Ooh,
trying to heal and trying to pretend, two totally different things. Totally things that take more than you could, I'm going to go to Christmases, Thanksgivings, friends' birthdays, this, that, and the fourth. And on the inside, I want to break down.
Yeah.
But on the outside, I have to be, because you never want anyone to bear the weight of your emotional suffering.
That's good. Yeah.
I never like I never wanted my mom to see me cry. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my best friend.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to like hurt in front of her or break down in front of her. But I think releasing that to one of the people who unconditionally, no judgment, there for you every single day since the moment that they had you, there is a level of healing that comes with that.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, I don't have kids, but as a mother, like watching you be there for your kids, I think that's important. Always being supportive. That's, you know, back to that word of support.
Yep.
So, you know, and those people are, of course, going to tell you, move on. Yeah. You deserve better. Yeah. They ain't no good. Yeah. You're good. All those things.
You're better than them.
And all those things are true.
They are.
But you can't see that. In that moment, it's just like, I'm hurting. I want them to change. Yeah. They say they want to change.
Right.
You know, Monday, Tuesday is fine. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is bad. Saturday, Sunday is back good. Then we back on Monday, Tuesday. And next thing you know, you've looked up and 2 years have gone by. 3 years have gone by. And then you look in the mirror and say, what happened to me?
Yep.
What happened to me? Good. What happened to the love that I have for myself? Yeah. And I think this year is teaching me to choose myself.
Wow.
Like,
that's good.
The beginning part of the year, figuring out was a little rough, but now it's like, okay, we on that bike. And we ride. And we get somewhere.
Okay.
We was at a standstill, but we're getting somewhere. And I think that's important is to move forward. Yeah. Letting go, moving forward. Yeah. Always constantly having things that you're passionate about, like your podcast, having things that you love. And that's, for me, that's what I'm figuring out. Like, what do I love? Yeah. What do I like to do? What when I get ready to do this puts a smile on my face. And it's not about who's going to be there.
That's right.
Who's going to see, who's got to want to, like, do things for yourself.
That's it.
Find out what you love. Find out what you like. Because I didn't know. Yeah. Someone asked me, what is it that you like? And you want to be honest. And you want to say, I really don't know, to be honest with you. But then it's kind of like a reality check. Like, why don't you know what you like?
Oh my
Why don't you know what you love? Why don't you know what you want to do? Why don't you know,
what makes you
what makes you go? What makes that blood pumping? What gets those juices? Like, what is it? Like, what is it? Like, you see people doing stuff and you're like, wow, they look so, like, they look so happy to be doing this, that, this, that. Like, I want to feel that way about things. And I think it starts with letting go.
It does.
And self-love.
That's it.
Because how can I learn to love anything if I don't love what I am? I am me. That's all I am.
That's it.
Or is it is what it is. Like, perfect, imperfect. I am me, and I have to love me in all those phases.
Yeah, that's good. Like,
in the good, the bad, the ugly. Because how can I appreciate what my life will look like in the next 3 to 4 years after all of the groundwork is finished? So after all the groundwork, I do all this work, and in the end, I don't love what I see in the mirror.
Come on now.
Pointless.
Yeah.
That's why they ask, I guess they say, why do the rich kill themselves or unalive?
Yeah. You get
blank that out. Why do the rich unalive themselves?
Yeah.
Because I'm not happy.
You're not happy.
I can have all the riches. Yeah.
Come on.
Money has been spent, came, gone, in, out, this, that, been like, what is, I'm still not happy.
Yeah.
I'm in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and I'm crying over this man. And this beautiful place that on any other given occasion I could appreciate. Right now, it just reminds me of Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
And
that's real.
When you look back, like, you know how you look back, your iPhone shows you like
the
trips and the things like that. Yes. Like, I just remember, like, in one of the most beautiful places in the world, just like,
oh my gosh,
going through it.
Yes.
Like, I'm not happy. I just want to sit here and I just want to cry.
Yeah.
I'll cry on the beach.
Yep.
And it's beautiful scenery, but I'll cry, but then it's like, I got to bring that back home.
Yeah.
And then it's like, how do you How do you unpack all of that? Unpacking that third suitcase of emotion.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It doesn't happen over a week. I remember I listened to Tony Gaskins, and I remember there was a snippet of his video where he says that I can guarantee you that day 70 will not feel like day 1. So eventually, I'm waiting on my day 70 now, y'all, because I'm
about that like
going
16.
Through, but yeah, right there, maybe at that halfway spot, I can start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, you know?
Day 45.
Right. Give me a little bit, just give me a little smidgen more time than that, and I'm gonna be good. Because you're gonna be good, and you're gonna realize that even the Bible speaks of this. All things work for the glory of God. All things, amen. Not just the good, but the bad too. It all works together. Because again, if we didn't have to go through the suffering, we wouldn't appreciate the reward that comes at a later time. Absolutely. So guys, that's, and once you love yourself, because that's a good point, because throughout my journey as well of when I was healing, it did take me having to figure out what makes me happy, because I didn't know either.
Couldn't tell you.
I didn't know.
At that time. I had no clue.
Right. And
go to your what makes you happy? I have no idea. What do you like to do?
Yeah. What do I like to do?
Work.
Yeah, right. Make money.
Go to work.
If I can make it in my sleep, is that
yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I'm not too sure, but
it's a simple question.
It's a simple question,
but it's a challenging one.
Very challenging, and there's a whole world out there, and there's things that you never would have thought that would have made you happy. Yeah. Or things you like to do. You gotta try, and I think that's me. Like I am in such a comfort zone at times that it's like, okay, how do I step out of this is out of my comfort zone. It is. Bless our heart. This is out of my comfort zone. I appreciate you. Of course. But I think the more that I maybe do those things, the more that I maybe get uncomfortable, I can become comfortable. Oh my gosh. Girl, you tap right into it. Yeah. I literally wrote that in my journal. Yeah. You do have to become uncomfortable. You do. Anytime I've ever felt at ease came after a storm. After, like 3 or 4 or 5. Wow. And it's never just one storm. Right. It's always 6. It's always a bunch. It's always a lot going on. And I think that learning how to remain grounded. That's it. Learning how to what brings me back to center. When the world is crazy and things are spinning all around, like, how do I center myself? Yeah. How do I get back to Alexis? How do I get back to Brittany? How do I get back to who I am and what I want to be? Yeah. And growth is uncomfortable. It is. And we had that, and what made me anxious about this is sometimes saying those things out loud makes it real. But in reality, you almost overcome. Yeah. Because I don't want to sit here today and say, I'm going to look in self-love and these are the things. It all sounds good. But then when you go home, it's the same cycle. Wow. No, go get some fresh air. That's right. That's right. That's right. Go shopping for yourself. Do something nice for yourself. Yeah. Sometimes that long week makes you want to just, they call it rotting. That's what the new age is. Oh, they say, is that what it is? Those rotting days. Those days of just laying on the couch, and next thing you know, 8 a.m. turns to noon, and noon turns to 6, and now it's 11 p.m. I ain't lying. And those days are great. Yeah. But too many of those days in a row, you got a problem. So loving yourself requires mental health, physical health, financial health. Yes. Just wellness all around. That's good. I love that. You're right. For you to be able to be well-grounded, you do have to have all of those different elements working together. So I think I even told you guys at some point or another that I returned back to counseling. And it wasn't that I felt like I was going out of my mind or anything like that. It was just, if we do financial checkups, make sure our money's good. If we do physical to make sure our health is good, why not our minds, which is the most strongest and powerful thing we have? And how would you review, like, what would you say you got the most from therapy? Because I think counseling and therapy I can only speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would say what makes me nervous is divulging, because I can only imagine that once you start talking about those feelings and once you start talking about what brought you to this point of feeling like you needed to come sit down and talk to someone, it gets deep. And sometimes people need a little. And what does that feel like from a stranger?
Ooh, okay, that's good. You know what? If you have the right therapist, though, they're not gonna start off running. They're gonna walk. They're gonna take your hand and they're gonna walk you through it, so that way you are comfortable first, and then we can start peeling the layers.
Okay,
we're not just gonna go digging right in. We're not doing
okay.
The right one will know that they have to be gentle with you. They have to take this up, because 99% of people ain't just ready to just give it to a stranger. You know what I mean? And I get that. And I was like that too. That's probably what kept me away for so long. Even when I was married, my then husband kept telling me, you need counseling, Nobody want to hear that. I can't receive it if you're saying it in a negative way. Yeah. Don't say I'm being an argument
a little off.
that I need to get a counselor. How about when things are good, then I can receive it better.
Absolutely.
But when I finally did decide to, she even told me that, hey, we're not going to get into anything deep right now. I just want to, you to be comfortable and for me to get to know you, and we create that bond, that relationship. And then, God blessed it where, I did my little sessions, at that moment I was good. And then there'd been some years, I think it's been now like 3 years since then. And I returned back, and I was able to return back to the same person. And that is, that's such a relief, because I'm like, well, please let her still be there. Because that way I don't have to start that all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but you said, building that relationship.
Yeah, building that relationship. That was the key, Lex. So once you get a person that understands that and knows that assignment and does it well, it's so freeing, because you start to see it from different perspectives, different angles, that you yourself being in that particular moment. Like mine, it was, childhood trauma. Being in the moment, I couldn't see. But when I take a step back and see it from her point of view, it's like, oh yeah, like that makes sense. It helps bring some enlightenment to your journey, to where you're trying to go. And it helped a lot during when I was going through. And that's funny, because that was the pivotal point for me when I started to realize my value and my worth. When y'all find that out, when y'all tap into that part right there, when you find out your value and your worth, and you're like, what am I doing? Like you said, what am I doing? That's the game changer.
What am I doing is the game changer. And like you said, your value. And I'm gonna throw that $5 tote on the floor. Not the $400.
Oh, come on now.
Don't be a $5 tote.
That's right.
But I think that along the line somewhere you forgot. You forget.
Yes.
That I should hold myself to a high standard. People say she thinks she all that.
It's like,
yeah, you should. You should always hold your head up high.
That's right.
And you should always wear your crown. And you should always be proud of the woman that continues to grow. That's right. I am not who I was yesterday.
Come on now. And you better not.
I might not have done this yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, that's
you never know.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it might have just been one of those days.
Yeah.
Today was a new day. It was a new day to be a better person. And okay, when I wake up, what makes me better today? Showing up for my friend, putting my feelings and emotions down. Maybe not necessarily on paper, but it's like on paper. This is like journaling.
It is.
And moving forward. And letting go. And trust me, those people who go through those things, we don't want to keep talking about it either.
Yeah.
I would love.
Yes.
I would love to wake up and just be everything that I went through. Yeah. I would love to. Yeah. But that's not how life works. Nothing that's worth anything is going to come easy.
Come on.
Is gonna come fast. Yeah. It's gonna come quick. It took me 8 years to decide what I wanted to do. Ultimately, that was my journey.
That's it.
And once you get okay with that, I think those clouds start to move.
It does.
that haze starts to look like a brighter day.
That's right.
You can go and enjoy life because there is only one life, and it's this life.
That's right.
And it's everything I make it.
That's right.
If I want it to be good, go out and get it.
Go do it.
If you want it to be bad, let it be bad. That's on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody wants to choose to not be happy.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
If given a choice, I would want to be the happiest that I can be. So what is at my disposal today?
Mm-hmm.
Forget the fairy tales and the dreams and winning the lottery and the trust that you'll never. What can I use right now at my disposal to bring happiness?
Wow.
To my life.
That's it.
Is that just walking outside and going for a walk? Because not everybody can do that.
That's true. Ooh, that's so true.
Is that just going and picking myself up something nice? Anything in the wherever, getting in my car, and driving, because not everybody can do that.
That's it.
Turning on my water and turning on my lights, and having somewhere to put a key into the lock and turn it and open and lock it back. Not everybody has that. And you're not that far away. You only a step away.
Yeah, that's so true.
And being grateful for what you have right now will only grant you bigger blessings.
Oh my God.
Why would I give you $1 million if you wasn't grateful for the 100,000? Would you? If you had money at your disposal to give out and somebody said, "Hey sis," because you know they're gonna call you. "Hey sis, I need $50,000. Okay, cool. 2 weeks later, sis, I need 100. Okay, cool. 6 weeks later, sis, I need 5. Well, hold on, wait. I'm still waiting on the thank you from the 5, from the 50, from the 100.
Hello.
And I think that's how God looks at us.
Yeah.
And I think you have to put yourself. I think when I was a kid, God was always such this big, huge thing that felt like, only place I could talk to God was at church.
You did feel that way.
Like it was just such this big, huge, out of reach almost feeling.
Yeah.
Like this big, grand, and God is here.
That's it.
With you
all the time,
everywhere you go. You don't have to drive to church to have a conversation with God.
And I think more taught us that.
They definitely the more conversations I have with God are at the most unconventional places.
It is. Like, oh my gosh! Right?
Oh my God! Sure, let's have a conversation in the in the bathroom of this restaurant. Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
I got time.
But that also is an amazing feeling to hear him.
It is. And I think we also have the misconception that it's this loud, boom, deep voice that just
very white.
It shakes the earth. And it's not. I have it written in my journal. One time it was the softest, faintest voice that I know was God.
God has to meet you where you at.
Wow.
God meets you where you are.
Yeah. I mean, he never ceases to amaze you. And when you do allow him to order your steps, that's when change comes. Because when you speak about being faithful and being appreciative of the little things, that's where this podcast got birthed out of, guys.
Yeah.
When I tell you guys, there would be no Beaut Tea Told had I continued to listen to Brittany. What Brittany was basically doing was waiting until I get approved for my house. And when I moved into my new big house, then I could set up my podcast, because then everything could be set up the way I want to, and I could dial it up and everything like that. And I remember saying this for days, for weeks, for months. And then there was this small voice that said, why you can't use what you already have? And like you said,
at my disposal.
I had moved some things around, but this little corner is in my living room, guys. And I remember realizing at that moment, wow, if I can just be faithful and do what he's asked me to do in this little bitty space,
in the small things,
why can't he bless me with bigger and better later?
Yes, sister.
So you was right on the money. A lot of what you just said, right on the money. We did not get a chance to really prep for this, guys.
It was one text message. She said, my topic is letting go. So see you at 3. All right, see you tomorrow. So I was like, okay. I was sitting here like walking around like, okay, let it go. Like, but when you're with your friends,
yeah,
it's for me unpredictable. You have no idea. You truly have no idea.
That's true.
Where it's gonna go.
Yeah,
but when you can be open and honest and raw, it will flow.
It does.
Some of the best, amazing podcasts in the world have the same structure of conversation.
Yep.
It has to be. I feel like I'm just really. So I actually keep looking back over here because I keep forgetting that your camera is here. Because I feel like I'm just sitting here having a conversation,
and I love that
with my girl. Minus,
yeah.
But I'm just sitting here casually having a conversation, and I think that will take you so far.
Thank you. That's exactly
Podcaster of the year.
Hey, I'm trying, y'all, and I appreciate. This is a great way to say I appreciate y'all and the ones that are listening. If you guys are being blessed by me and my girl Lex, which I knew she was going to be coming and dropping them gems. Throw some gems in the comment section. Let us know. Sprinkle a little bit down there. Put some pink hearts if you want to. A little sparkle, a little bit dazzle. Y'all know how your girl like to do a little blingy bling. So help us out.
The bling queen is in front of you all. She will bedazzle.
I'll bedazzle anything, honey. Okay.
Gems don't go on that.
But it is with me. Listen, this has been great. I needed this. Believe it or not, I needed this. What you have spoken, it really does sit and resonate with my heart as well, because like I told you, we, believe it or not, we in similar situations where right now healing is a process. We're still in the healing process.
And that's okay.
It's all right
to say. I think that is so important to say. We are healing.
That's it.
We are in the journey. We are in the process. We continuously every single day have to figure out what is best for us.
That's it.
And it's important to be honest with yourself. It's important to give yourself grace. The same grace we talked about earlier in the relationships is the grace you have to first present to yourself.
Oh, that's good. That's so good. Right. And I hope y'all are taking what we've given you and being able to be understanding of the fact that it's okay as long as you are making some type of efforts and steps to getting to that healing. Even if you got to crawl your way through until you can get the strength to stand up.
Yes.
It's okay. Because like you said in the beginning, I love that. And that's going to be, I'm definitely going to clip it, and that's going to be a promo, is that journey in between, that gray area, nobody's journey should look the same. In fact, nobody's journey should go from 0 to 100 real quick. There's no way you should be able to go from heartbreak to heal in an instance. That's scary. And that can cause some issues down the road because you didn't really sit down. And
I mean, that would be the same if, I know we wrapping up, but the same with right now, if Mr. Perfect walked through the door, would you know how to
that's good.
care for the package, handle the package? Would you know what to do with that? Probably not. Probably not. Because I'm just going to try to make it the best, the best that it can be, because I just want to move on and I want to move forward.
Yeah.
But if I take some time to be the best version for me, when Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect, for whomever, great.
Yeah, that
true. Is a bonus.
Ooh, that's so good.
Put that in there somewhere.
Girl, I'm gonna definitely have to do that. That's good.
But you have to be good for you to be good for someone else, and that's only fair. You don't want to be a burden, a liability, extra baggage to the person that you with.
Yeah.
We growing together, and trust me, with someone else. You thought you was going 30 miles an hour, baby. Now you're going 85.
That's so true. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. And that's the part that you don't sometimes see in the beginning phases of healing, is that once you get to that point of being healed, so you can accept what God has for you. Because like you said, it's about timing. You get it too fast, you ain't gonna know how to appreciate it. Just like you used the analogy with the money, you're gonna blow through it. But when you really have grown and matured to the place of you can be now accepting of what God has for you, that's when you'll be able to see like, okay, now I see why I had to go through what I went through to get to this point. And like you said, it's going to be 10 times better than you could have ever imagined because you went through the process. Ooh, gosh, is it Sunday? It feels like a Sunday sermon today. You know. 10:45. Okay. Hello, God is good. This was awesome. This was amazing. I mean, you took my topic, girl, and I mean, you just
because I'm with my friend, and my friend makes me comfortable.
Oh.
So with that, this is only the beginning for Beaut Tea Told. Sky is the limit, and I can't wait to see it.
I received that. I love that. Thank you so much. And thank you, Lex. Thank you, y'all. We love you. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. I forgot to say that. Join the fam so that way we can continue to have positive changes together, be a community, be a unit. Let's be changing lives, because now we could take what Ms. Lex and her Beaut Tea Told advice has given us, and we can be able to give it to others that maybe you have a family member, a friend that's struggling. Let's help one another. Let's share this. Comment. Let us know that you hear us. Let's like it. And more importantly, let's subscribe so we can stay intact together.
Subscribe.
That's right. And you know what? I love you guys so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And until next time.
Beaut Tea Told.
Let's make a change.